Hey, what is up, people? Skywalker Hendrix here, back with another video for you guys today. And today, let's take a look at my top 10 Black Series of all time. Let's go. Starting with a few rules here. These are just purely my opinion of the best depiction of this character. So in my opinion, this is the definitive look. Like, I don't think they could have nailed it any more perfectly. The perfect, representation of a certain character, not based on, my favorite characters, but just based purely on what I think they absolutely nailed and what I think my top 10 is. So let's get into it. Alright, and here are my honorable mentions. We do have Wicket, Cad Bane, Fennec Shand, Clone Wars Maul, Ahsoka, Ezra, and Sabine. All these would be, continued on the list if we had more room, not just 10. But I did want to quick just share that I think these would be, outside the top 10. Alright, and starting with number 10. Again, I think of these as if a normal person that just loves Star Wars, that's not really a collector, is, strolling down the aisles or, scrolling online, looking for, anything, and they see one of these figures and it's like, oh, that's like a perfect representation of that character. So keep that in mind when I'm going over this list, because these are not necessarily great characters or epic characters, whatnot. These are just perfect representations of those characters. So starting off, number 10, we do have Vib Fortuna. And this guy, in my opinion, is just absolutely fantastic. He just looks amazing. His sculpt work is absolutely fantastic. And just, he looks so perfect on the shelf, in my opinion. Just really, really impressed me. And every time I go by my shelf, my eye is just drawn to him. So that is why he is number 10 on my best Black Series of all time. And for number 9, we do have Snow Speeder Luke Skywalker. He looks absolutely fantastic again, in my opinion. Just perfect representation of that character. The sculpting is amazing. That's I feel like I'm gonna repeat myself over and over again on this video, but yeah, it just perfect. I mean, it looks like a mini Mark Hamill sitting there, on the shelf, and it just, I have nothing better to say about it, and that is why he is number 9 on my best Black Series of all time. And we're going to stick with a little trend here of Empire Strikes Back and Luke Skywalker. We do have the Dagobah Luke Skywalker, mainly the 2-pack, but you could, the general release. I'm mainly looking at the Luke Skywalker here. I do think the Yoda is good, but I'm just not a huge fan of soft goods, so I would have liked a sculpted Yoda in the backpack. I just think that would have been a lot better, in my opinion, maybe with some alternate heads on that, sculpted whatever. And yeah, I just think this is an absolutely perfect figure, and this is why he is number 8 on my best Black Series of all time. Alright, and number 7, this is a recurring top 10 member of all time. He has been on many people's top 10 lists, and rightfully so, because it is the Gamorrean Guard, and this figure still holds up to this day. They could re-release this till the end of time, and it would never get old, in my opinion. I don't know, maybe they could make it pinless or, something like that, but this is a perfect figure, in my opinion, and again, just perfect representation of the Gamorrean Guard, and yeah, I mean, it's so good, you need to, which is good because you do need to, because, they're all over Jabba's palace, and if you have a Jabba, you need to, so, I mean, yeah, that's just the end of the story, but, just an amazing all-time figure, and that is why he's number 7. Alright, and we're getting down to number 6, and at number 6, I do have Jar Binks. You love him, you hate him. I personally love Jar Jar. He is a fantastic character. I do think that The Phantom Menace would be super boring without him. And, people hate on Jar Jar and Jake Lloyd as Anakin, but without those two, I honestly think that movie would be, even worse than it was received. So, I don't mind Jar Jar, especially in the Clone Wars. I love his arc with Mace Windu. Absolutely fantastic stuff. So, yeah, I don't mind him. And if you love the prequels, you have, prequel shelves, you need a Jar Jar for the Phantom Menace shelf. And yeah, he does not disappoint. This figure is absolutely beautiful. A thing about this list here as we go on, it really just, when Hasbro puts the effort in, they can do wonders. I mean, yeah, it's something, it's a work of art, in my opinion. These figures on this list are definitely works of art, and totally could stand alone just on a desk, That's another thing I kind of implemented in this list, is figures just a random person would buy, getting things for their desk at work or whatnot. And yeah, I think all these figures stand alone. Alright, and we're getting down to the top 5. And at number 5, this will not surprise anyone. It is Darth Malgus. This figure is absolutely fantastic as well. He just is a beast. Again, sculpt work, fantastic. The face printing / paint apps on the face are just so menacing. And he, the size of him is menacing. I think actually definitely the biggest figure we've ever gotten in the Black Series. Well, that's a lie. If we're counting the animals and stuff, I think the Wampa would be the biggest. But going solely off figures and named characters, I guess, he would probably be the biggest. And yeah, it just is an insane figure. It's really all you can say about it. So that is why Malgus is number 5 of all time. Alright, and at number 4, we do have the 2020 Stormtrooper. This figure is just, again, absolutely fantastic. I don't know if it's going to show up in the end result, but my camera is doing just a weird thing whenever I put a figure in front of it, so ignore that. I'm sorry. I'm trying my best here, but I'm noticing it on my end, so if it comes through, just it's a Skywalker Hendrix video. You know what you get when you click on one of my videos. It's just not great quality, so I don't know what you guys expected, but yeah, so let's just continue. This is a fantastic figure. I absolutely love it. I mean, I almost wanted to pull them all out for this video, but I probably have like 20 of these all together, just random spots in my apartment, just scattered. I mean every OT shelf has like 3 or 4. The Kenobi shelf has 2. That's where I pulled this guy from. My desk has one. My living room area has one. So yeah, they're everywhere. They've been released a lot, you know. My Andor shelf also has one, so yeah, just everywhere. They are scattered. A lot of them, you know, are the kind of re-release with a pauldron, or, you know, the Jedha Patrol or the Rocket Launcher Trooper, but at the end of the day, it is this mold, and this is just a perfect mold, in my opinion. It is one of the best trooper molds. Maybe that's a hint for later on, but at a time, this was the definitive trooper mold in the Black Series, so I still think it is one of the best, and that is why it is number 4 of all time. Alright, and now we have hit the 10-minute mark, and we are in the top 3. I know everyone is as excited as I am. We're just, you know, I hope everyone's just, you know, sitting at the edge of their seat. Can't wait to see what the top 3 are, but let's get into it with no further ado. Number 3, Black Series figure of all time. It is the Clone Wars Obi-Wan Kenobi. This figure is a absolute just heavyweight, you know, in the line. His name is heard amongst the crowd. He just has a presence about him. He was hard to find. It ensued chaos in the community when his wave hit targets around the US and everyone went into frenzy mode. But I was lucky enough to get one on card and one to open, and I think I even got another one that I sent to someone as a gift. But yeah, just absolutely amazing, and the frenzy, the hype over this figure, it did not let down, because this is number 3 of all time on my list, and really it could be swapped out for number 2. You'll see what my number 2 is here shortly, but I really just, you know, for a long time, I probably would have said this was the best figure in the line. It's just, I mean, it's perfect in my opinion. There are almost 0 flaws with it. A few things, but almost 0 flaws. Yeah, just, again, perfect. All I can say. And that is why Clone Wars Obi-Wan is number 3. Alright, and we are down to number 2. And number 2, one of my favorite designs of all time. Maybe my favorite design from a movie of all time. We do have the Phase 1 Clone Trooper here, and this guy just looks, again, just so good. He throws off like my white balance, so it gets really dark, but and he's falling down. Again, Skywalker Hendrix video quality is absolute ass, so let's continue. This guy just looks so good. The new mold this year was absolutely fantastic, and it just, again, does not disappoint. He absolutely, it's just so good, and I have so many. I have, you know, we got Appo earlier this year, which was the debut of this body, but I have the all white on this list just because I think it is just a touch more like iconic for some reason, even though it has way less screen time. I don't know. In my head, it's, you know, it's my brain. Undefeated. Always, yeah, undefeated brain, as you can see by this video. So we're just falling apart. We're off the hinges now. I'm, you know, rambling. You know, 10 minutes, that's why I said 10 minutes, guys. I mean, this is where it just falls apart. I mean, it's terrible after this. So if you've clicked away, I totally understand. If you're still here and listening to this, you're a real one, and I love you, and you should go enter in my giveaway and win yourself a hot toy. But this is an absolutely beautiful, gorgeous figure here. Removable helmet, as you can see, his little chin poking out. The overlay over the chest, I think this will give us some ARC troopers, just any type of trooper that has a different type of, chest piece on, right there. So the O-ring system, bicep swivel, it's so good, and it's so much new from the 2020 clone mold that I think it justifies being, kind of its own thing. And yeah, this is just perfect, and that is why the Clone Trooper is number 2 of all time. All right, and at number 1, if you've been watching the channel the last few weeks, you probably know already what this is. But I have to preach. I have to preach, because when Hasbro nails a figure, and when they do good, they need to be, awarded and praised for that. This figure here that I'm about to show you guys, I don't think has any flaws. It's the best figure that Hasbro has ever made. I don't know, I don't collect any of their other lines, but as far as Black Series, this is the best Black Series figure ever made. And it's the Mandalorian. The new Mandalorian, of course. This guy, again, just no flaws. I mean, he has absolutely no flaws. I would, I'd like to see someone that has a flaw with him, and I feel like I could probably argue it. Just perfect. My copy, at least, perfect. So good. Again, when Hasbro cooks, they cook. And when they want to put the effort in and make something amazing, they absolutely do that. This is an example of that. This is the best example of that, in my opinion. And I mean, it's just a perfect figure. I don't really know what else I could say about it, but it is just absolutely perfect. It speaks for itself, as you can see here. It's just beautiful. Puts the imports to shame, and as a very hardcore import supporter, I have never really said that for a Black Series figure. I don't think that Black Series has closed the gap quite yet, but this is definitely, like, this figure right here is closing the gap, if there ever was, a gap to close. So yeah, he blows the SH figure arts out of the water, which, some people say that Black Series does that quite often. I think there's 2 examples of that. With the Black Series, Count Dooku is better than the SH figure arts, and now this figure is better than any of the import companies. I think the SH figure arts is close, but overall, I think this is the definitive winner, and that is why the Mandalorian version, 3.0, I guess, is the best Black Series of all time. Enough said. End of video. Peace out, y'all. Ayy.